Let's do our inked moment, which is where we really set the stage by telling a very concrete story from our past that's on the theme. And we teased it at the open, which was the fancy steakhouse. And let's go to where we were in life when and how we ended up in a steakhouse with you having homework.
I think that's a great place to
Because every
start.
anniversary should have homework in it.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. I believe it was our 8th anniversary. We had moved out to North Carolina, so we didn't have any family. We hadn't had babysitters, so we hadn't been going out much.
Yeah, girls were only probably 5 years old, and our support system was super, super basic at that point.
Yeah, definitely. And at the time, I was staying at home with the girls. You were the sole provider at that time, and I was doing all the frugal things that you can do. I was a major. I wouldn't call it. Oh, they have a term for those couponers.
Coupon queen?
Something. I wasn't.
Is that an acceptable
I wasn't
term?
that extreme, but I was cutting coupons. I was finding any discounts for even for the girls for activities that they wanted to do. Whatever it was, I was finding discounts. Just it also feels good to save money. And one of the things that I used to do was mystery shopping. Some of them were really simple at fast food places.
What's a mystery shop?
A mystery shop?
For those youngins out there who might not know what a mystery,
Right.
they still do mystery
They
shopping.
do still.
All right, so tell me what mystery shopping is.
A
just in a
mystery
nutshell.
shopping is where you anonymous.
Oh, anonymously, that's a good word.
A mystery shop is where you anonymously go into an establishment or there is some type of service that you're going to, and you have to evaluate a lot of things. And the more the mystery shop pays, usually the more things that are required of you.
Cool. All right, so you were doing mystery shopping.
I
Our
was.
anniversary might have been around the corner. We were being frugal with our money because, well, we had a lot of debt and we're working through a lot of stuff. So, all right, good picture there.
Yeah,
Continue.
absolutely. The way they would send out the options for a mystery shop were emails. And you often had to reply really quickly because it was a first come, first serve, but also they had to evaluate you. Sometimes you had to like write a little blurb.
Yeah, you'd be qualified to do that.
You had to be qualified to do it, right? And so I saw this one for steakhouse, happened to be in the month of our anniversary. I said, oh, that would be so cool if I could get a steakhouse dinner paid for us for our anniversary. So I applied and I got it. Woohoo.
I remember coming home and you telling me this, and I thought it was the craziest thing in the world. But I'm like, all right, this is okay. Let's roll with it.
Right? Yeah. So
fast forward to this really fancy dinner and the homework that was involved in this. Like, what did you have to do at the mystery shop?
yeah, there are a lot.
This was a laundry list.
Right. So it's from the instant you walk in the door. Were you greeted? Did they have your table available for you at your reservation time?
Well, and if I recall, I had to go in ahead of you and order a drink from the bar to evaluate the bar.
Forgot about
So
that.
we couldn't even arrive at our anniversary dinner together because, well, you could have gone to the bar and done it, but you don't drink. So I went to the bar. I sacrificed to get my cocktail to start the.
And then you get seated, but you have to do timings on all this, right?
Oh, I
and you're
forgot about that
not
part.
supposed to be writing stuff down. Anyway, but then, how fast did your server make it to the table? Were you told the specials? Were you asked if you want an appetizer?
And we had, and we'll kind of go through this because it really was hundreds of things you had to do.
yeah.
But I think we also had like you needed to order an appetizer, and then you each had to order an entree, and then you had to order a dessert to split. So like it was sort of like you have to follow these things. What'd you order? This is a running joke to this day still with us when we go to a nicer dinner or a steakhouse in particular. That just gets me. What'd you order?
Chicken.
Chicken. You can have chicken freaking anywhere. And every time we go out, you order chicken. That's actually not true. We went to a steakhouse a few years back, and I think you got the kebab. So you at least got beef. But yes,
I am not a big red meat person.
it was a good chicken.
It was good chicken. You
Still chicken. All
pay
right.
that much for a chicken entree. It's pretty tasty.
Yeah. All right.
And so there were a lot of things. And, I didn't tell the mystery shop people this, but you helped me with that.
Of course.
I couldn't do it all. So I gave you some
I shouldn't
assignments.
say of course. So this wasn't like I was just a passenger in this.
Right.
We sort of embraced this and said, hey, let's do this as our anniversary activity and embrace the shop. So yeah, I helped you with a lot of those things.
You did.
Question for you. So you were on the clock the entire night, or did
Yes
or,
and
or
no.
how'd that go? Because now I'm thinking, if I'm listening to this story, I'm like, you had a working anniversary dinner. It's like, yeah, we sort of did have a working anniversary. Was it all work?
It was not. And pretty much once you ordered your meal, things calmed down a bit. It's just that first 10 minutes. But once you order your meal, I remember it. I went to the bathroom and I had paper in my purse,
all your
and I
notes
was
down.
writing down everything up until then, because I'd written the things that I need, the timings that I needed, because that's what I was worried about missing was the timings, because there's a lot of them. But once I had written out everything, the rest of it was, how long did your entree take? I can remember 8 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But once we had our food and we're eating, I don't feel that I was still working,
Yeah.
doing homework. At that time, we were just eating and talking.
Yeah. I think this is probably as close as we ever got to being spies and trying to actually,
Yeah.
stay covert and do whatever. Odds are we probably would sucked at it, and they probably pegged us as being, mystery shoppers pretty quickly on there. But to my point, to my question, to your answer was, I think once we got through all of that sort of stuff, it really was nice because we were able to just have a really nice dinner. And the nice thing about service at a steakhouse like that is it's just really special service. And they passed the mystery shop awesomely. It was a very good, and it gave us the private time to sort of actually be in the moment of our anniversary. But I guess I do have the question of, did it feel like an anniversary, or did it feel like did it feel like an anniversary?
It did. And I think the reason it did is because of that time when we were actually eating, which if you think about it, that's when you're eating, you're talking about life stuff. I felt that there was substance there,
Yeah.
and it wasn't about, once again, I think really it helped that I went and wrote things down in the bathroom, so I didn't have to think about it anymore, and I could just concentrate on us celebrating our anniversary.
Yeah. I think for me, it was a nice treat, and we embraced it as something just kind of, I don't know, silly and whatever, and an opportunity that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And I think that was okay. I think part of me would have been like, oh, I would have loved to have been able to drop, several $100s on the meal and had a good meal. But the other part of it was like, well, that's not where we were in life. So it was fine. And I don't think it, ironically, as we started thinking about our anniversaries, it's one of the more memorable early ones because it was crazy or whatever.
Yeah. And there's something about what I didn't say earlier about the couponing and stuff. I love saving money. I really, really do.
Yeah.
So after we left, right, or it was probably after I submitted my report, I was just like, I just had a really nice dinner with my husband, and I didn't have to pay. We didn't have to pay for it. I didn't count. Yes, maybe I should have counted my time but in general, no, we didn't. Not a dime came out of our pocket. So that was a good night, and that was your 8.